Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something that completely flips the script on how we view the human body, disease, and the actual mechanics of healing. You know, if you've ever felt like the standard medical system treats you like, I don't know, a collection of broken parts rather than a whole human being, well, you're going to find this absolutely validating. Let's get right into it. Okay, so picture this relatable mystery. You walk into a clinic with a basic sniffle. You're just expecting a quick prescription for your congestion, right? But out of nowhere, you're being interrogated about your digestion, your mood, how you handle stress, and your sleep schedule. It feels completely random. Like, why on earth does your sleep matter when it's your nose that's running? That brings us to part one, the starting point of traditional Chinese medicine. To really grasp this holistic approach, we literally have to throw out our normal, everyday script about what a doctor is actually looking for. So modern medicine largely makes the disease the absolute center of attention. It's asking, what exactly is this disease? Where is it located? What bug caused it? But TCM looks at it completely differently. It views the disease as just a temporary blip within a person's continuous, ongoing life process. It asks, why did this specific person's life state allow this disease to show up right now? The disease isn't the main character here, folks. Your life force is. Moving on to part two, treating the person, not just the disease. This leads to a massive core philosophy. You can't treat a noun, you gotta treat a verb. A disease is just a static label. But life is constant, dynamic action. Think about it like this. 10 different people could catch the exact same cold virus. Under a strictly standardized system, boom, they all get the exact same disease name, and probably the exact same standard protocol. But in reality, their life states, their baseline energy levels, their daily rhythms, they are entirely different. One person might be burning up with a fever and sweating buckets, while the next person feels freezing cold and can barely keep their eyes open. Because their bodies are reacting so uniquely to that same virus, they need entirely individualized support to bounce back.
All right, part three, qi and the rhythm of life. If we're shifting our focus away from static, localized diseases and zooming out to the active, whole-body movement of life, well, we need a vocabulary for it. We need a way to actually measure and describe that movement.
And that brings us to a term you've definitely heard, but one that gets totally misunderstood in the West. Let's demystify this right now. Qi is not some magical, invisible energy field floating around in your aura. No. According to the source material, qi is simply the unified, observable rhythm of your body's physiological functions working together. It's your breathing, it's your digestion, your circulation, your healing processes. It is quite literally life itself in motion. And this movement, it isn't random. Life operates through 4 distinct directional movements of qi. Things have to ascend, like pumping nutrients up to your brain. Things have to descend, like moving waste down and out. Things must exit, like sweating to cool you off. And things must enter, like breathing in oxygen. In this framework, sickness is just defined as a deviation from this natural, balanced 4-part flow. Basically, something is moving in the wrong direction, or it's just plain stuck. Now, human biology is insanely complicated. The web of symptoms a patient can show up with is dizzying, but the beauty of this framework is that it takes all of that chaos and boils every single ailment down to just 2 fundamental states of imbalance. Just 2.
It's honestly so elegant. Basically, either your life force lacks the power to complete its necessary tasks, that's a deficiency, you're just too weak, or you've got the power, but there's a roadblock in the way, an obstruction. That is literally it. You either don't have the field to move or the road is blocked. So every treatment is simply about either giving the body more power or clearing the road. Which brings us to part 4, East meets West, perfect collaborators. This is such a beautiful realization. We do not have to choose between science and holistic healing. When we actually understand their different goals, they're perfect teammates in patient care. Take a broken bone as an analogy. If you shatter your leg, you absolutely want modern Western medicine. It is phenomenal at creating the physical, structural conditions for repair, putting in the steel plates and screws to line everything up perfectly. But here's the thing, that steel plate doesn't actually grow the bone back. TCM focuses on the other half of the equation, empowering the body's internal life force, pumping up the blood flow, and creating the internal environment to actually execute that repair. Let's look at how this plays out on a timeline. Day 1, the trauma happens. By day 2, the surgeon goes in and stabilizes the structure. Great. But over the next few weeks, TCM steps in to clear the circulatory blockages caused by the trauma, fully supporting the patient's vitality. By month 3, the bone is completely healed. But the ultimate takeaway here? Neither the steel plate nor the herbal medicine grew that bone. The patient's own life force alone did the healing. The medicines were just tools. This completely flips how we view symptoms. A fever or a profound fatigue? That might actually be your life force's active defense mechanism. It's doing something on purpose to save you. A doctor's role and a medicine's role is to support that innate wisdom. You want to collaborate with it, not just blindly suppress a symptom, just to make a chart look normal. Part 5. Observing life and redefining recovery. To truly collaborate with life like this, we have to completely redefine how we measure a successful recovery. If we aren't just checking a box that a disease is eradicated, what are we actually looking at? Well, we're looking at the whole person. And this is exactly why the doctor asked about your sleep at the very beginning of our explainer. Your spirit, your appetite, your emotional state, and your daily biological rhythms, these are the absolute most accurate metrics of your overall life reserve. If a treatment kills a virus but completely wrecks your appetite and ruins your sleep, your life force hasn't been restored. It's been depleted.
This sparks a really profound realization when it comes to chronic illness. We've all heard of cases where a scan shows a stabilized tumor, or lab results say inflammation markers have dropped. On paper, great, the disease is managed. But if that patient can't eat, can't sleep, and has absolutely zero daily energy, the life itself hasn't truly recovered. We have to look at the life experience just as closely as we look at the life signs.
I want to leave you with a provocative thought as we wrap up today's explainer. The next time you face a health challenge, ask yourself this. Are you just blindly managing diseases and swatting away symptoms? Or are you actively nourishing the magnificent, dynamic life force within you that actually does the healing? Thanks so much for learning with me today.